No problem.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and we know others will be coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the Starbucks coffee and the French toast, Pamela. That was awesome. And I'm too full now to speak, but we'll give it a try. This week's lesson is step 10 of the 14 steps of RU. Manage your respect to authority. We're going to be on page 2. I'm going to read some Bible verses, and then we'll go to page 2. Romans 13:1, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God, the powers that are ordained of God. So all the powers that we know, or all the authorities that we know, are given by God. Romans 13:7, render therefore to all your dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 13, submit yourselves to every ordinance, that's every law or commandment. I'm just reading these from page 6. We're going to be having the lesson on page 2.
6 or 4?
Page 6 is where I'm reading the Bible verses. Page 2 is where we're going to have the lesson. I know it's confusing.
We have page 4 for the Bible verses.
Yeah, it's on both. It's on both.
Okay.
Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme. And so therefore we're supposed to submit ourselves to every law or commandment for the Lord's sake, as if we're serving the Lord. It is for the Lord. It's for our testimony. We have certain authorities that we've all had or have. One is parents, pastors, teachers, employers, and government. Those are authorities that we all have. And the Bible says we're to obey those that are in authority. And so, page 2, what authority wants from you. Now, I think I've said this before. I come up with this list when I was a manager, and I had a guy, he just didn't want to work. And I kept catching him being lazy, sitting around. Finally, after I caught him one more time being lazy in the back, he goes, what do you want from me? Well, it was really easy. Do your job. That's what I want. But that always has stuck in me. What do you want from me? And so what does every authority want from you? So first one, they want you to be considerate. When speaking to anybody in an authority position, be considerate. They have feelings. They're human. They have a family they want to go home to tonight. And they'd like to go home in a good mood too. And so, don't be demeaning. Don't call them names. Don't be cussing at them. Consider their feelings. Consider their position also. Consider all that they have to handle. And so, when you deal with authority, be considerate. Number 2, and this is the biggest one, of course, do as you are told. Do as you're told. Believe it or not, doing what you're told benefits you. If your boss says he wants something done a certain way, do it that way. I remember when I was younger and I first started out in the restaurant business, Burger Chef. Anybody here ever heard of Burger Chef? They're Hardee's now. Hardy bought them out. But okay, so Burger Chef, my first job, they gave me my uniform, ugly uniforms. I hated the uniforms. Remember, it was the 70s, and they were just polyester ugly. And then he gave me a paper hat. Paper hats I hate. They mess up my hair. I had hair back then. I didn't, and I refused to wear the paper hat. Every once in a while he'd catch me and say, Mike, get your hat on. And I would do everything I could to make sure I didn't wear my paper hat. Finally, he calls me into the office and said, Mike, you have 2 choices. Wear your paper hat or you don't have a job. Mike started wearing a paper hat. Now see, for a long time, him and I had always had a problem with each other, even after that. Because I showed him that I wasn't willing to do what he wanted me to do on a paper hat. So I would get passed over for promotions or raises or for a long time. Doing what you're told, believe it or not, benefits you. So people with authority, children too, we have no children here, but if a child does what they're told, it benefits them in the long run. When you're a teacher and you've got a class full of students, and at any age, when the students do what they're told, it benefits them. And so do as you're told. Number 3, be mindful what you are doing. A lack of focus is harmful. Oh my goodness, I've seen people get seriously injured. In the factories, they're not focused on their job. I've seen in restaurant business, people get the wrong orders because somebody's not focused. Sounds like a small thing to you, but not for the restaurant, not for the customer. And so, be focused. When you're there, be mindful of what you're doing. Your authority, your boss, whoever you are that's over you, recognizes this. They recognize it. If you're a teacher, you know who's focused on what you're teaching. They know that. And so, be mindful what you're doing. Number 4, be on time. An unconcern for authority's time is never helpful. Try to go to court late. Is that helpful? No. You're telling the judge that you're not concerned about his time. You have no respect for his time. Somebody who's an employer, you're constantly clocking in late. You're showing me you have no respect for my time. I used to get upset if they clocked in on time. I wanted you there 10 minutes early. You know why? Because you got to take your coat off, you got to do your hair, you got to do all the... You clocked in on time, what do? Hello, Eddie? If you just clock in time, you come in, you go and take your coat off, you start doing your hair, you get all ready. You've already wasted 10-15 minutes of my time. That's 10-15 minutes that I paid you for nothing. You show me you have no respect for my time. If there's nothing else you get out of this lesson, be on time to things. It shows people that in authority or in charge, we're on page 2, that you respect their time. Now, here's the thing. Everybody wants to be respected by their employer. Everyone wants to be respected by their parents, or everyone wants to be respected by any authority that they have. You want to be respected by them, respect their time. That's your first impression right there. You show me you respect my time, I can start having some respect for you. So be on time. Number 5, address authority appropriately. Address them appropriately. Now we're talking again about respect. By name, title, or their request. You know, if your boss comes and he's more relaxed and he says, oh, just call me Mike. It's all right, everybody can call me Mike. Then call him Mike, because he told you what to call him. Or her. If they say, I'm Mr. So-and-so, that's what you call them. You give them their proper title. That's what every authority wants, their proper title. One, they worked hard to earn that title. Some went to college, some of them worked in this company so hard. They worked very hard to get that title, and then for you just to poo-poo it, you know, all of a sudden I don't respect you much either. Some will ask them, what should I call you? And then call them whatever they request. Okay? So, address authority appropriately. Even the simple as yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. Someone will tell you, Mr. Snyder, that's my dad. Call me Mike. Okay, call them Mike. They just told you what to call them. Then it's not disrespectful anymore. Okay? Don't say old man or baldy or fat guy. Hey, fat guy, come here. That's disrespecting their title. Okay? Address authority appropriately. Number 6, be part of solutions. Oh my goodness, authority sees this. They see it. If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. When I was manager, I hated bystanders. You know, you're trying to fix something, something's wrong, and you and another guy's trying to fix it, and then all the other employees are just standing around watching. If you're not part of the solution, you're in the way. Don't you have go wipe down counters, do something, get out of my way. But be part of the solution. Okay, a problem happened. Somebody messed up. Are you the one going around telling everybody about it and complaining or griping? Or are you coming to the manager or the person of authority and saying, hey, you know, what can I do to help get through this? Or I got a plan to help us get through this. Authority sees these things. They hear these things. They remember it. That shows I can count on you in tough times. I can count on you. If I can count on you, guess what? 9 out of 10 times, you're going to be able to count on me too. Can. When it comes down to somebody that I need to lay off or fire, you know, the corporate tells you, you know, you've got 10 employees there, and we need to cut it down to 9. It's not going to be you. You're a problem solver. You're always part of the solution. I'm going to find the guy who goes around gripes and complains, or the guy who runs away when there's a problem and they're nowhere to be found. And they're probably the ones who did it. And they're I hope nobody knows. That's the guy I get rid of. So be part of the solution. Number 7, be dependable. Be dependable. An unreliable person appears unprofessional, disorganized, and ineffective. That's how you appear to people. Be dependable. I always know where you are. You're always at your station, or you're always at your spot, or you're always doing your job. I know. I can just give out orders. I can tell everybody what we're doing, and I don't have to worry about Joe over there, because as soon as I give it to him, that's where he goes, and that's where he is, and that's what he does. And I know I can depend on him. And that makes you look more professional, more organized. And again, when the rubber meets the road. See, the whole thing, when it comes to employment especially, and I don't know why you get into this more, but you have to make yourself where they can't get rid of you.
Right.
You say, I know I need to cut down, but I can't get rid of this person. They're dependable. They're respectful. They respect my time. They respect my title. They're always here on time. They're dependable. They're doing their job. I cannot get rid of that person. Make it that way. And that's one way. Be dependable. If you got a job to do and they give it to you, do it. Do it. Number 8, own up to your mistakes and apologize. Again, we're talking about work again, but don't make your boss look you up, fine you. You made a mistake, go tell them, own up to it. 9 out of 10 times, they want to know as soon as they can so they can get it fixed and solve this. And they appreciate it. You brought it to me right away. You could even say, you know, I'm sorry, how can I help get through this? How can I help? Okay? Don't make them come look for you. Don't hide in the bathroom. I've had it. You know, that sounds funny, but I've had it. I knew exactly who did it because that's the person I'm looking for. They're gone. Own up to your mistakes and apologize. Trying to shift blame for something that is your fault makes you appear far weaker than if you admit your mistake and put the work in to fix it. Did you get that? You look weaker when you try to blame, well, you didn't give me the right equipment, or you didn't do this, or you look weaker that way. Well, they didn't help me. Own up to your part, apologize. Okay, how can I help you fix this? That puts you in a position of power. That puts you in a position of strength, not weakness. And authority will respect that. Number 9, listen to authority. You feel more involved with the project if authority feels that their voice was heard. Okay? You will feel more a part of the project. They will feel like that you're part of the project if they feel like what they said was heard. You know, you have a meeting, and they're saying, we're going to try to do this and do that, and you're back there talking to the other guy, throwing stuff at each other, giggling. You're telling me you're not part of this project because you're not listening to a word I say, and you may have heard everything. Sometimes body language tells me whether you're listening or not. Exactly. Eye contact. Don't be putting your head down here. Look me in the eye. Tells me you're listening. And that's what authority wants to be heard. They want to know whatever I'm trying to teach you, whatever I'm trying to help you with, or whatever it is that I need done. I know you heard me. You should never have the person in authority say, you understand me? You get it?
Right.
You know why they're saying that? Because your body language, or a lot of times you don't. You're just not listening. Like they're talking to you and you're like, hey, hi. And they're like, hey, you getting this?
No.
Don't make your boss or the person in authority. Yeah, or you're on their phone. Yeah. Look them in the eye. Let them know you're listening. See, you say, well, boss yelled at me today. He had to get loud to get your attention. If you listened in the first place, wouldn't have had to yell. You didn't have to yell. My problem when I was manager, I would throw things. That's, listen to me! And break stuff. This one, number 10, is very important. Enforce respect among others. That's very important when it comes to authority. Put a stop to any harassment, gossip, or all-around rudeness towards authority. Now, that's not always easy because we always want to put down the boss. She's too young, or he's not as smart as me, or I've been doing this for 40 years, and now they put this guy over me, and they don't know what. Be a person who promotes respect among the others. Authority will respect that you have their best interests in mind and are keeping the peace. They'll respect that you have their best interests in mind and that you're promoting peace. And if you show that respect to them, they're going to return the respect. Again, I remember I was manager and somebody came to me and they said, you have favorites. I said, yeah, I do. You admit it? I said, yeah. They pointed out one guy. I pointed out one guy and I said, that guy over there never complains, always does his job, is always on time. I can depend on him. I said, you could be that way too. You could be one of my favorites. But I said, I'm telling you right now, if both of you put a request for the same day off, guess who's going to get it? That guy. That guy never gave me a problem. He's always on time. That's the guy I'm looking for first. I said, that could happen to you. Of course, that person didn't take it very well and didn't do it. But it's the truth. You promote respect, you'll get it back. You'll get it back. Number 11, set a good example. Show that you're working just as hard as everyone else, maybe even harder, without complaint. Authority sees that stuff. They see it. I'm doing the best that I can, and you set an example for everyone else to see. You know, the boss says, you know, we're going to do this, and this is our new project. You know, you talk about management. Suggestion selling is huge in restaurant business and things. You know, you guys have been in drive-thrus, and they say, you want an apple pie with that? It's called suggestive selling. You're supposed to do that. Nobody wants to, though. But you be the one person that does. You set the example. I'm working hard at this. I'm doing what the company wants. And you be the example. If they say wear your uniform a certain way and you're supposed to look a certain way, you do it. And you be the example. Number 12, dress appropriately or professionally. Having a proper outfit gives you the appearance of professionalism and caring. Now, some places have uniforms, some do not. But especially if you deal with customers, the boss is watching to see how you dress. So are the customers. And how you dress shows what level of interest you are in this job. Now, if you got a warehouse job, dress appropriate for that. I've actually seen a warehouse where people show up in tank tops and shorts. That's not appropriate even for a warehouse job. Okay? Dress appropriately. If they give you a uniform, wear the uniform. Wear it right. If they don't, and if you're in sales, dress appropriately. If you go to court, I tell everybody, when you go to court, don't dress like, you're a bum or a thug. Dress nice. It shows respect to the court. And so, well, I don't respect the court. It'll show. It'll show. Whatever authority you're under or with, dress appropriately. Fathers and mothers set standards in their homes. They're the authority. And they tell their children, this is how I expect you to dress. Then do it. Then do it. You want respect from mom and dad? Show them respect for their authority. So what does every authority want? These 12 things. We should try to remember them, practice them. And if you're in authority, you can show these to people and say, when they say, what do you